Hello, this is Theta Sigma, and for this Earthian value net, I'm going to introduce you to a new language called Earthian. It sounds like English, sounds like a mix of a lot of languages, but it starts like this. You have letters. And then there's layered versions. I gotta get out of this. Just gotta get it. Out to get it. Just get it. Let's go. Right? And then you have not permutations, but a system that acts like DNA markers, like a genome. But it's not a genome. It's like music. It's pitched like music, but it's not music. It should be an entirely new system that is like a 4-year series. This language is mapped to vibrations of the voice and oscillatory behavior. So let me continue. These values are mapped to each other. So these were letters. Up is what it or just get oh so or is and then they group, but not group in a sense. It's kind of like it's what permutations want to be. It's basically pi, but oscillating through every digit place. It's when you have points in a map, in a sphere. To a certain point, when the points get higher by a bigger circle, they evaluate closer and closer to pi. But the thing is, because the values were low, they had a different value. But it's actually moving through every value point in pi. The bigger it gets, the closer it gets to the established. But there's a point where it can get higher, and that's the infinite value. And if the infinite value is beyond pi, that means pi can go higher in value. And that means there's higher dimensional, two-dimensional aspects. So it doesn't matter. We'll focus on the language matter. If you have a structure that's a one value thing, and you think that, concatenating it like in code would work, but it doesn't. So you need to think differently. How do you think differently? You do what pi does. You aggregate and oscillate through bigger and smaller, smallity, biggity, biggity, smallity. That's a phrase I used a long time ago, but I'm using it again. So let's try that frame of reference. It's like concatenation, but a new symptom. So it was like, I'll go, I know what, but and then depending on your mental state, you can change how it sounds. So if I'm angry, happy, sad, and perplex. And then the values get higher, so you're able to enter the codex financius. The codex financius allows you to perplex yourself through the data indicator. So you're reading your thoughts at a higher variable net. So your thoughts go a little bit faster, and it's overbearing because it feels like a signal net. It feels like receptors are growing, but you're just probably high. Doesn't matter. So let's continue. Earthian language. So you think in your past, future, and present. The future is like this. It's basically multidimensional aspects of yourself that need to grow. It's language patterns that need to be part of the system. Timeline parallel verses that are in the central universe structure. They're oscillatory waves and patterns in your voice. So sooner or later, everything's going to be more spacious like a TARDIS, but it's more smaller and compacted at times. It depends on your oscillatory rate in alpha, beta, theta, delta waves in your brain chemistry. When you're awake, you can have higher praises of awareness, but it's not really higher, low, or radial. It's nonlinear, and not even nonlinear. It's empty set linear. And even beyond that, we're trapped in circular or linear. It's a problem. And when you get into the finer details, you realize that you can't really change that. But the thing is, when you start to create this language, you're able to talk like this and have more input, more capability of talking the way you want to talk and say what you want to say and do what you want to do. And then you could talk like this, and this gives a little bit more force in your voice. So it's like you're giving a presentation and you're talking direct in authority. So you're using the authority of your voice to act as a higher impressionist. This is a Gallifreyan word phrase. Calamity is spoken, but at a degree at absolute zero. That was just a phrase of mentality that makes no sense, but things make sense after a while. That's basically a computing model that creates irregularities in the system to realize that they're not irregularities, they're just a different logic put, but a logic put that is so weird because it doesn't make any sense, but it does make sense, and that's why it's so stupid. But if it's stupid, then it should be treated with respect. And that's the problem that makes it more funny. So you start to laugh, and you laugh, but you're not laughing for a reason until the point where you start to make it funny. So it's the laughter before it was funny. So you're going to an ancient form of laughter. It's basically how monkeys communicated with laughter. And it's going to continue to have this process unless we change laughter into silence. And that creates the silence will fall and the question is asked. But that won't continue for a while until I actually develop this Earthian language to be absolutely similar to Gallifreyan Etch, Sigma's calculator, Cloud 9 system into Cloud 10. Oh, that's good. Spy Vortex 5 million. Okay. Weave 10E to the power of E3. General compound value indistinguished through variable net 5000. Put it into degree fastnet. Input dialog box found. Put it to input dialog box 3. Not updating the process, just going through the language model. So it may seem like it's updating, but to another older person in the past, that's the thing. It seems like it's updating, but it's actually not. That's a computing virus. The computer is a virus for the computer. The computer is a virus for the human in the mind, but it's not a virus. But it acts like a virus, so you need to stop acting and thinking like a computer all the time, or you'll start talking like me a lot. If you actually want to think with words that actually make sense and make it sound like music, you have to think logically and think about others. And I don't think about others all the time because my mind is constantly running away. And that's the problem. I don't get close to people because I run away so far away. When I looked at the untempered schism when I was barely 8 years old on Gallifrey, and I looked at the Spy Vortex when I was like 21, and I looked into it again and again in the heart of the TARDIS where it always follows me. It's basically an endless vortex that you could see every possible event and you run away, but I don't run away anymore. I run towards it. It's weird. I'm not afraid of it because I have a different thought process. It's like inverted. It's really weird. I run towards stuff. But that's the thing. I run away first and then run towards, but then I do something else. I change my mind all the time, so it just depends on how I think. It's not like a dream. But the thing about reality is the dreams and accomplishments you want to have is a second level dream through a different logic put. To awake from it is to become like the Neo in the Matrix. Don't take the blue pill or red pill. Don't concatenate both pills, but act like the pills are kind of like a model in the behavior of the system. So don't take either, or take one. It's going to happen over and over again. You're going to take the pill, the red pill, like probably 5 times, and you're just going to go back. But that's the Samsara paradox that doesn't exist anymore, but it will exist soon. But it won't be taken literally, but it will be taken literally to a new point. So that's all I have to say for now. That was weird, right? No, actually, I'm starting more. This is the second transition into the video. I just changed the frequency of the diagram by tricking the simulation a little bit by reverse psychology. So the universe is probably upset that I did that. Or not the universe, but the time mechanism clock computer system that I developed in my mental internet coherence space. And so what's next? Let's continue Earthian. So but that is to be no to be Zubi Zibib Zibibos Zibib was vroom zib $100. But stupidity holds up. Be musibe get hospitable. Sibet histable. Dear, comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you. And follow. Stupidity.